All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take some questions that were for you guys from the fans out there. Some of these questions were sent text-wise, so I'm going to use some text-to-speech software to to read these questions, and some were sent as videos, in which case we'll see the videos of those. So our first question comes from Mr. Ravenclaw.
Who else did you consider to be the mole, other than Piper?
All right, well, Ravenclaw, that's a good question. I was considering everybody a possibility to be the mole, even Lizzie. They all were an option. I didn't make the decision until just a day or so before we were starting, partly because I wanted to make sure everybody was going to be available. And in case somebody had a scheduling problem, couldn't make it, and that was my mole, we'd have a problem. But Piper had came to me when I think it was on a Mumble chat session one night.
Yeah.
Whereas it was late my time, but early in the morning her time, and she expressed that she would really want to be the mole. So at that time, I was like, okay, you're the mole.
Yes, thank you.
She asked.
I asked. I begged. I really wanted to do it, yeah.
So, but everybody was an option to be the mole. I mean, I think everybody can do it, and it was just really a matter of originally who was going to be there, but since she really wanted to do it, I thought she would be a very unlikely candidate for people to pick, and it worked out that way. So that's how Piper got to be the mole.
Yeah, I was a bit concerned that I might be too obvious, but it didn't turn out that way at all.
All right, now the next question was sent in as a video, and it's from Bobo Noah 2.
Question for the mole reunion. Why did you choose Piper Bunny as the mole?
We've already kind of touched on this, but she wanted to do it. And the main reason I chose her, besides that, was just because I thought she was so unlikely. Lizzie kind of summed it up when she said that she didn't think Piper was the mole because she's so sweet. Everybody, I think, kind of looked at Piper as the sweet astronaut from the UK. And I didn't think people would really suspect her. So that was my main reason for choosing her.
Yeah, you guys talked earlier about her talking too much. I think that's what threw me off, is because she always expressed her sympathy for people getting eliminated and everything.
Yeah, I think I would do that anyway, to be honest.
Beneath that charming exterior.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm saying, Piper, is that it threw me off, because you had so much sympathy for everybody getting voted off. Whenever we fell down the hole, you'd be like, oh no.
Our next question was sent in to us, and it's by Amanda, and she has two questions.
How long did it take Belbos or Gizmo to build those challenges, and how did he come up with the ideas for them? They looked amazing, and were great fun to watch. And I guess for Piper, what was the funnest and hardest parts about being the mole?
So to touch on the first thing, Gizmo made the Monument Challenge and the Long and Winding Roads. So I'll let him talk about those. Everything else were challenges that I came up with and I built. So how did I come up with them? I mean, a lot of it was just sitting around thinking about what would possibly work in Minecraft, thinking about the show and maybe what they did and what's feasible in Minecraft. Just really just sitting around trying to think of things. The hardest part for me wasn't necessarily the challenges, because I don't build these grand, elaborate things, because I don't build as well as Giz by any means. But I tried to make them simple, because I think they play well when they're simple for the mole. And the hardest part was really just integrating quiz questions into each challenge, because I wanted to really make it a point that people would have to pay attention to the challenges themselves and follow how well people did and what things people did in those challenges in order to actually succeed and get the questions right, assuming they know who the mole is. But Giz, if you want to touch on that.
For the monument one, I'm not really sure. I just wanted to do something that had like kind of a quiz feel to it, but with a bit of a twist. So I decided to build the big monuments and have 4 of them with the subjects. I think I was just bored and wanted to build something. The long and winding road thing, like you said, it's in the actual mole show, so that's why we did that challenge. But that took hours, let's just say.
Now, her other question was for you, Piper, about what were the funnest, hardest parts about being the mole.
The funnest part was probably, I think, sneaking on the system to actually go on the server. And we did this very, very, very late for Belboz and very, very early for me. But we had to avoid Gizmo because Gizmo's timings of going to bed, I think I missed out on him maybe about 10-15 minutes of me getting online. And just like messing around with Belbuzz doing the putting things in people's rooms and putting the chest in the pool area with the sign saying, "Did you need these?" Or that was good fun. The hardest part was actually in real life. I think me and Desil, because we know each other IRL, and we worked together and we were discussing something like we were going to film the mole tonight, and I had to walk away because I was really scared my face would give it away. It's it's easier acting online than it is IRL.
Our next question was sent in as a video from one of our fans out there, Duffman Danny, who we all know well from many open servers.
Hi, this is Danny_Taylor and Duffman from Minecraft. My question is for Piper, and it is, how in the game did you try and swerve people, and how did you use different types of tactics to try and get people to think it wasn't you who was the mole? That's about it. I had a good time watching the mole videos and hope to see some more. Thank you, and bye.
Well, I tried to swerve people by, mentioning things other people have done. Like I was making really big notes on who was acting molish, and I'm afraid Puppery got most of that. And as for tactics, I think I was just trying to play it as straight as possible. And in most challenges, I found it really hard to actually try to sabotage it. But the smallest ways count. And mostly, if I didn't do anything, other people were doing things to mess up.
All right, the next question is from Rainbow Headcrab. And he or she writes,
"Do you think I would make a good mole? I am cheeky, I can act good, I am funny, and will always say random comments."
So everybody can make some comments on this particular question, but we'll let Piper have first shot.
Cheekiness, a very good question, by the way. Cheekiness, definitely. You need to act good. Yeah. Be funny, yes, that makes a good video. But for saying random comments is probably not good for being the mole, because people pick up on like the really small things that you say.
I do think that she'd probably be perfect for the spin-off show Minecraft Headcrab.
That's coming to YouTube in a few weeks. All right, our next question was sent in as a video, and it's from The Reaping Gamer.
Hello, Belboz and everybody else. This is a question for basically all of you. I was wondering, since all of this deceiving and stuff like that, were there any arguments that went ahead and went on through the series that has not been aired?
So that's a good question. Obviously for Piper, she had to be deceitful in a sense and be who she wasn't on one side, and then be the mole on the other. But along those lines too, the long recording sessions could make people get tired, could make things trying, and just being eliminated. Were there any arguments or any issues for any of you, not just Piper?
I do have something I want to bring up. Is I didn't see this during the actual recording, but I kind of laugh about it. But Piper ranting about me stealing her spot on the checker game, I was told that was a lot longer than it actually was in the show.
I am so sorry about that.
She's very embarrassed about it too.
Actually, during that rant, I think, was it that one? I was also ranting about Wolf as well.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly on all that, Pup. I think Piper ranted about Wolf. She ranted about you and Desil, I believe. 3 different people. But what you heard about you was pretty much all that was said about you. I had to edit out everything else about the other players. because it was kind of, she started off talking about you, but then she jumped to Desil and then jumped to Wolf, and then she came back to that challenge with you. So I kind of cut everything else out, but what you heard was what she said about you. So I'm not sure if that was something that I said that was misunderstood or what,
Probably.
but yeah, I mean, what you heard was pretty much it. I just, in all cases with Piper, especially early on in the videos when I quizzed her, I had to edit out a lot because she was just had a lot of theories. Literally, it was almost like she was two different people. She knew she was the mole, but when I asked her these questions, she would just go through these very long theories on how other people could be the mole. And in some cases, I think when I aired some of those, I think it does sway the fans in their voting. And all of you guys, not just Piper, but a lot of you guys made accusations about who you thought was the mole. And I think when some of you made decent arguments, it did sway the votes. But any other thoughts on this when it came to the deceiving and things? Besides, I know Giz has got something, but does anybody else have anything?
I kind of was really glad that I spent most of the time on push to talk. Just sometimes during some of the challenges when things were thrown by players, it's a little upsetting. And you know, if I think the game would have been played differently if we'd been playing for like a car or new shoes or something. But I thought that some of the players essentially throwing their own money away, what could have been their own money away, was a little bit odd at times. I mean, it's one thing to be deceptive, it's another thing to completely throw a challenge.
Yeah, you have spoken about how long the hours were and how tedious it was in between because you had lots of prep to do and stuff. But, it was fun. It was really, really good fun.
Yeah, me and Piper had an alliance from the start of the show. So I had no idea she was the mole, and I chose to team up with her. So, yay me!
So that you could see that, and I left this in. I thought seriously about editing it out, but it was part of the game. It was part of the emotion. But when Piper came out in the last episode to be revealed as the mole, Gizmo was, I don't want to say he was upset, but he was definitely disappointed because his game was based off of partnering with Piper, and he chose the wrong person to partner with because she was the mole. So what you saw in the video was Gizmo in shock somewhat, just because his partner was the mole and not truly his partner.
Yeah, and it was quite useful for me as well having somebody to talk to because I can suss out what Gizmo was thinking, and maybe it was the same as what everybody else was thinking, and so I felt pretty safe doing that. But I must say I didn't influence Gizmo in any way. I tried to remain quite neutral in what I was telling him. Obviously, I couldn't tell him all the way I'm the mole.
Well, no, the quiz that I took when I got out, I was discussing with Piper that I thought it was Wolf. So I was saying, I really think it's Wolf, I really think it's Wolf. I'll vote everything on him, and if I go out, it's not him. And I voted everything on him, and I went out.
Yeah,
but
and
it wasn't
Gizmo
in vain.
was like, if I go out, then it's not Wolf. And I was thinking, but I know it's not Wolf. And I was like, are you sure you want to do that? Are you really sure?
But in the end, I think Desil managed to get whatever information he did from me going out. So in the end,
I mean, it was when Gizmo kind of dropped out that I really honed in on Piper.
All right, we have another question, and this question is from Bella Blitz.
Okay, my question is, what criteria is Bobaz going to use for the next mole?
Well, that's a good question. I kind of touched on it a little bit. I think all the players in the game are capable of being the mole, so it's going to come down to who is there to be in the episodes. And, I can't give away too much because I don't want to have the players have an idea, but I'm just going to pick a person that I think can play the part well at that time, and hopefully do like Piper did and beat the rest of the players. All right, our next question comes from Lunatone42.
This one is to Belboz. The challenge with the big brains and small brains, you said, "Come on mole" to Mario. Did you do that to confuse us, or did you not realize you said it?
Well, that one's an easy one to answer. I never said that at all. You heard Wolf say that to Mario and just thought it was me, but that wasn't me. I would never throw any hints out. I was very conscious of saying things like he or she whenever talking about the mole, instead of saying she by accident or he by accident. I did not want to spoil it, but you were confusing Wolf's voice with my voice.
Could I interrupt slightly? Do you want to talk about that guy who's posted in the comments about the quiz question where it said, where it kind of gave it away that it was Piper, but it didn't because of they didn't see that what we were applying to, and I can't remember what the question was now.
Yeah, that's a good point. One of the viewers thought that based off of one of the quiz questions that it gave it away that it was Piper, and it was one of those questions where it was, or in which doer slot did the mole go? And there was only like 3 people in the doer slot. Piper was the only one left in the game at that point. In the doer slots because other people were eliminated. So they thought that that was a complete giveaway. But what the viewers don't see is the actual answers to the questions. You just see the questions themselves. So in that particular question, it may have said which doer slot, and the answers were either A, slot 1, B, slot 2, C, slot 3, or D, the mole wasn't a doer. So there always is an option like that. I make sure no question will target the mole specifically, the identity of the mole specifically. I always make sure that they're generic. You guys can touch on that if you think that there was questions that gave it away, but I tried to keep them as generic as possible.
I think the questions were pretty well put together and worked out pretty well.
All right, and our last question is a video question, and it's from Kamanosuke. And he sent this in, and he says,
Hey, Kamanosuke here. First I want to say how much I enjoyed your series. I have some questions for you. My first question would be, what were your favorite moments in the series?
One of my favourite moments, which I didn't realise while we were filming but saw it later in the video, was after the challenge Run for Your Life, and the mole got the diamonds. And I don't think we'd even discussed it, but everybody bowed their heads as if they were just like really sad that the mole got the diamonds, and I did it included. But yeah, that was probably one of my favourite things looking back on the series.
I don't know, just the whole thing was just a blast. I don't know if I can pick a favorite moment really. Yeah, I just had a bunch of fun the whole time. I would say I thought Gizmo's exploding quiz was great fun. That was really awesome. So.
I have 2. From when we were in the series, definitely the Gizmo quiz was just I thought just great. The questions, like I said before, some of them were very, 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 very awesome. Let's just say. But from watching the series, from the standpoint of seeing the series, my favorite part has actually been Lizzie, and watching her go through the whole thing and hearing her comments on some of the stuff that happened in the series. She is just comedy gold, that child.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think one of the moments was, I think when Mario was eliminated, Lizzie's like, "Oh, Mario, that's bad."
Yeah, that was brilliant.
And then, of course, Leo being eliminated in the first episode, and he falls down into the hole. I think that was the first time Lizzie saw that, and she was like, "How's he going to get out?"
Yeah.
Now, Lizzie has stepped away, so we won't be able to get her favorite moment. So, Pup?
I really don't know what my favorite moment is. I really liked, well, when Lizzie and we got eliminated and we got stuck on the hole. I really like the reaction that I got when I got stuck from Piper and Wolf.
Okay.
And Piper's reaction to when I told her I didn't love her no more.
Yeah, when Pup like turns their head away and looks in the opposite direction to you, it really hurts.
I still love you, Piper. I still love you.
Oh, I love you too.
Favorite moment.
Favorite moment.
Pushing Piper down the hole.
Oh.
Now, what he's referring to, if you haven't watched it, is in the last episode, at the very, very end, there's a little snippet where Gizmo gets his final revenge and pulls the lever to send Piper, the mole, down into the pit.
Goodbye, Mole.
Now, Ocarin and Leo obviously aren't here, so they can't give their favorite moments. And Mario has had mic problems, so he can't say unless he wants to type a favorite moment. Yet, next up, our last episode of this favorite of all of ours, and you guys out there, is Gizmo is going to tell us what is the mole comment of the season.
The mole comment of the season 2011.
The comment is from WizDragonMaster91, and he writes,
I think Piper likes to eat guacamole because she is the mole.
All right, now, after this season was over, the filming, and everybody knew Piper was the mole and Decille was the only person not to be eliminated, he made a poem about the mole for Piper.
It began as a challenge for all of the crew. What lay in store? None of them knew. Diamonds to be won, and the mole they must beat. All these brave players stepped up to compete. First they were searching for blocks far and wide, then facing a puzzle to baffle their minds. But poor Leo was dropped down into a hole. He became the first victim of that crafty old mole. Next came a race through obstacles varied, with 4 matching blocks hidden unfairly. Then Mario fell to the mole's subterfuge, making him sadly victim number 2. Ocarin had personal problems to face, and to our dismay pulled out of the race. Placing red checkers a challenging task before running a maze against arrows shot fast. Now everyone did unhappily see Gizmo become victim number 3. Afterwards, rounding up pigs was the test, then answering questions about previous crew quests. Here we were all distraught to see the next victim to fall was Puppery. Subsequently, a quiz with explosions galore, and then some word games to get through locked doors. Here Lizzie, who'd made it to the final 4, fell by the wayside without hope anymore. The final 2 tasks pushed us all hard, with teamwork and knowledge taking us far. At last, at the end, the secret's uncovered. Now listen well for the shock we discovered. Though Wolf was in sight of his victory, he finally fell to the mole's treachery. Now Decille and Piper stood face to face. Who was the mole? Who'd won this race? After fooling us all with her sweet disguise, the mole revealed her duplicitous side. The mole had been Piper, we all stood stunned. But what of the diamonds? Who could have won? Though Decille hung on up to the conclusion, the mole took advantage of all the confusion. The mole took the diamonds, the crew had lost. The mole got away with the whole victory pot.
Lovely poem.
Yay.
Yay!
I think everybody enjoyed it.
Everybody give him the round of applause. Use your
I'm gonna
hands,
make my
use your
I'm gonna make my recital really, really awful, so you're all applauding something really, really bad now.
All right, we are here. This is a sneak peek for you. This is the new mansion that originally Wolf built, and Wolf has modified it along with some help from, I think, Pup and Giz, and if any others helped him, he can mention that too. But let's go ahead and take a walk in. Be very careful if you guys are in a creative mode, which I don't think you are. And we can show off some of the differences. I guess this room here is the closest. So who worked on the pool room, expanding it?
And me.
Anything you want to...
And Wolf did a little bit as well, but
I helped with the question mark.
oh yeah. Just more snazzy.
Okay. Now we will get more in detail in confidential episodes for season 2 when we get to season 2. So we're only going to just give you some brief glimpses. Here is the new elimination room that Wolf worked on. And you can see where he's got a spot for me, spot for all the players and their torches, and a very nice big screen that can turn green or turn red.
Wow.
All right, so let's take you can see there's a few bedrooms down here on the first floor, but let's go up to the second floor real quick. And you can see
they've got beds.
They've been expanded. Let's just go in this room here.
No need to steal all the time then.
Yeah, I was about to say that.
Well, I still might.
So the rooms are much bigger. They have TVs now. A flower, quite decorative.
Every single bedroom on this floor has a balcony.
All right, so here we are up on the second floor, and you can see, again, more rooms. But up here we have Pup's atrium. All right, is everybody here?
Mm-hmm.
Now, just because we're not starting season 2 yet doesn't mean we can't have a little fun. You guys saw the mansion. There's lots of rooms. People all want certain rooms. Well, we're going to do a quick little challenge. Whoever comes in first place gets first pick of a room. Second place gets next pick. Third place gets the next pick, and so on and so on. Now, you guys, the viewers out there haven't seen this particular game. It's just a creation of mine that Piper absolutely loves.
I hate it. It made me cry.
And I call this challenge, Don't Be Last. Normally when we do this, whoever's last is eliminated. We're not going to have any eliminations, but the last person will have last choice for rooms. What I'm going to do is when I say go, you guys can run out anywhere you want and bring back the item that I tell you to. It must be in your hand. When you bring it back, if you're the first person, come stand on the first mat, holding the item in your hand. If you do that first, you get first choice for room. If you come back and there's already somebody on the first mat, go to the second mat, or go to the third, or go to the fourth. Okay? And that will be the order. You guys get to choose who gets what room. Is everybody ready?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yes.
I hate this game.
Yeah, do it. Come on, do it.
All right. Your challenge is to bring back a stone sword. Go.
Where are the trees?
Now, Piper is at a disadvantage initially because she has her draw distance set very short.
I'm just following Gizmo.
Me too.
I see Leo is flying like crazy. Not a very hard, not flying, but just meaning fast.
I was going to say, can we slash GM? Because that would help a lot.
No.
We just get...
So for this challenge, very simple. Players just need to craft a stone sword. So this is all going to come down to how quick you guys are at crafting. If you are heading back with your sword, please type or say something so I can fly back. I'm trying to catch up now with a large group that seem to have gone to a certain group of trees.
I have the stuff to make a stone sword. I need 2 pieces of stone.
All right, Leo is already coming back.
Oh my goodness.
Me too.
Remember, it must be in your hand before you can stand on a mat. If somebody is standing on a mat without a stone sword in their hand, they will not pass. I see Leo and Lizzie. Lizzie seems to be crafting at this point.
Ugh, I need some more wood.
Lizzie makes a fatal mistake. Leo has made it back.
Coming back.
and he has a stone sword.
Coming back.
So Leo is first. Just stay there on the mat, Leo.
Coming back.
Lizzie is going to probably come in last place here because she did not have enough wood.
Back.
All right, Gizmo is second.
Somebody's flying. Somebody's flying. That's not allowed.
Who's flying?
It might be new Belbas.
It's not.
Or maybe it was somebody actually going up a hill, but I couldn't see because my draw distance was really bad.
Wolf.
I think it was Mario.
I'm lagging like crazy.
Going up a hill.
Wolf
So
came
yeah,
in third.
I don't think I'm gonna.
Minotaur is fourth. Extra is fifth. Piper is sixth.
Nobody pinch my room.
So
Who's left?
just you and Desil, I think, at this point.
Which one did you want, Piper?
Hmm?
Which one did
The
you
one
want?
that I put the sign outside of. Oh, I don't mind. I don't care.
Desil is back. And here comes Lizzie. She was all anxious to be first, but she didn't get enough wood, and she still doesn't have it. She's crafting it now.
Good job, Leo.
Now, you are only allowed to pick your room. You cannot pick a room for another player. If there are any signs in the mansion saying that a room is already picked, it is invalid. Just have to wait on Lizzie.
Here she comes.
Take your spot, Lizzie. All right, and lastly, what we're going to do is any final thoughts that you guys have in regards to the mole. This is your chance before we go. So, Piper, any final thoughts?
Sorry, Pup. Gizmo, you build really well. Belbos, you're a genius. And I can't wait for season 2.
All right, Desil.
Yeah, just had an absolute great time. I think everything was incredibly well done. Just fantastic. And I can't wait for the next season.
I think you and Gizmo did such a great job building what y'all built. Designing the challenges was, Boz, you are just a complete genius. And, we all love you and you're great. And like everyone else, I can't wait for season 2.
Well, thank you. Pup?
Piper, you were a good mole. Ladwolf, you built a good lodge for us. Desil, congrats for winning. Belboz, thank you for putting this on. Gizmo, thank you for building some of the challenges. Mario, you're mean for stealing the glass. And good job, Lizzie.
Yes, good job, Lizzie.
Thank you again. It was really fun, and I can't wait for the next season.
All right, Mario, if you got anything you want to type real quickly. Well, I'm glad everybody enjoyed it. I had a blast doing it. It's a lot of work and it's quite stressful, but it pays off so much just to see how much fun you guys are having and how much tension there is. Even though we're on Mumble, you can kind of feel the tension when we get to the eliminations and just the quizzes in general. So it's so much fun.
Yeah, and it's also good to find something that the fans really enjoy watching too.
Yeah.
Our intention when we did this was to do something totally different that you haven't seen in Minecraft. And I think we accomplished that really well. And everybody has been very positive about it out there on YouTube. And we're going to keep doing it. And we hope you guys will enjoy Season 2 as much as that you enjoyed Season 1. And that's about it. Unless somebody else has anything.
Thank you to our fans.
Thank you.
We love you.
Thank you, guys.
So we will say goodbye for the last time for season 1 of The Mole.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Bye.